in high definition from WBFF in Baltimore. This is Fox 45 News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Jennifer Gilbert.
And I'm Kai Jackson. The second night of the curfew in Baltimore has just begun.
But first tonight, breaking news. Our Kathleen Cairns in West Baltimore, where there's another situation right after the curfew started. Kathleen, tell us what's happening.
Well, as you can only imagine, there is a huge law enforcement presence here. We just heard something go off down there. It's hard to tell. It looks like a little smoke in the air. We're not sure if somebody set off a little firecracker or if it's something more serious. But in the meantime, this is what's going on in terms of the protesting. People like this woman with a sign that says, "Go home, stop lethal force." And they're standing here, and of course this has become the hour where people are supposed to be heading home, and the curfew has gone into effect. Let's take a walk up the street, and we're going to show you how much manpower is here, and it is on every corner in every direction. We saw a line of Humvees driving up as we were driving up. If you take a look over here, you can see SWAT teams lined up all ready to take action if necessary around here. You can see this is Baltimore police right here, lined up. They are in full gear and ready to deal with any kind of a riot situation which may arise. Further down, you can see a Humvee in the middle of the road. More SWAT teams over here. This is also Baltimore police SWAT teams. And down this way, we have another contingent. We've seen a lot of Howard County, we've seen Prince George's County. People from all over the region are in this area right now offering additional assistance to Baltimore City. This is the county police right here. This is their Humvee, completely ready. Everybody has their gear in order and they are ready to take effect. You can hear loudspeakers down that way saying how people should be going back home, that the curfew is now in effect. In every corner, there's more manpower right now, more police manpower here than anyone else. And take a look up there. There's someone going inside their home, locking the door and saying good night. They just gave me the thumbs up. Looks like they're headed in for the night and trying to avoid all this trouble. But certainly there are other people, some of the protesters who are determined to stay out here and make a stand. When we were first, we see people moving in this direction. We'll head in this direction as well. We can see National Guard here and police lining up. It appears that they're organizing themselves just in case something happens. Elijah Cummings is even on a loudspeaker on these corners, walking these streets, trying to convince people to head home and follow the law. Once again, this is 10 o'clock. This is the time when it is the law to head inside. You can see a whole bunch of people over there. You can see all the national, international media following Elijah Cummings as he is on a loudspeaker, headed in our direction, telling people to go home. There's Elijah Cummings. Elijah, do you think you're making a difference here?
Yes.
You think you're making a difference?
Yes, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Let's go home. I'm proud of Baltimore. I'm proud of my city.
There you have it, Elijah, just trying to circle this entire area, telling people to go home, be safe. And of course, Elijah Cummings grew up here. He still lives in this area. This has been his home his entire life, and that's very personal for him as well. He's hoping that it makes a difference. So there you have it. We have him walking from corner to corner. Let's take a look up this way. You can see police presence in this direction. That's looking north. This is looking west. That's where we came from. That's where we saw the line of Humvees and all the SWAT teams. Down this way, there are more police, more Humvees. And in this direction, which is where we parked when we arrived, we saw at least 4 to 5 Humvees, military vehicles lined up, ready and prepared to deal with anything that may come their way. National Guard seems to be behind the local police officers. Local police are taking the front here, at least at this point this evening. Let's take a look over here, Luke. more police lined up. You can see that they have the gear, they have everything they need. So far, there hasn't been any trouble as they try to convince people to go home, but they're also ready with all the tools needed in case something does occur.
Kathleen, we're looking at the streets there. Kathleen, I don't know if you can hear me, but we're looking at the people in the streets there, and Congressman Elijah Cummings and all the people swarming around him seem to be mostly media. It's a little hard for us to get perspective on how many people are still out there. Would you say dozens of people, or more than that, or less than that?
I'll be honest, there's probably, there are people here, residents here, protesters here, but the majority of people here right now are the media. And they're just swarming around Elijah Cummings, trying to get his message out. And you can see he is strong and steady. He wants to get the word out to the people of Baltimore to follow the law, to go inside and try to keep things safe. And that has been his message all along. He wants the peace as well, of course. So obviously a very strong show of force here tonight. Down there, I just saw some more Humvees. You can see that they have arrived as well. They look like National Guard Humvees, and they have National Guardsmen on them as well. So that's the situation here at this point. Again, curfew now in effect here in Baltimore City. Live on North Avenue, Kathleen Cairns, Fox 45 News.
Okay, Kathleen, thank you. A week ago, Police Commissioner Anthony Batts promised transparency and led residents believe that they'd have some of their questions answered. But according to Joy Lapola, the commissioner is no longer saying that. She joins us live from police headquarters. Joy, what is the commissioner saying?
Well, Kai, as you mentioned, many people expected to learn more about the police department's investigation into the death of Freddie Gray on Friday. In fact, I spoke extensively last week with the police commissioner about it. But tonight it appears as if the community may be let down by the information or lack thereof the department releases over the next 48 hours.
As the voices of high school students filled the air, nightfall began to set in over City Hall. In Freddie Gray's neighborhood, friends discuss what sort of information they expect to learn about his death once police turn over their findings on Friday to the state's attorney.
People are looking for answers, and real answers. They're not looking for a sham in this particular incident, and they feel like that's what they're going to get because they've gotten it in so many times in the past.
Why? He was in police custody. They took a piece of me when they took him. So I feel as though his family needs closure. He needs closure because he died unpeacefully, unjustly, unlawfully. He died. That's a human life.
While many expect answers on Friday, the mayor and police commissioner today said that will likely not happen.
We heard the community. They wanted information. They wanted to know when that information was coming out. That's why the commissioner gave that date of May 1st. It became very clear very soon after that people misunderstood that date to mean something else.
But during a one-on-one interview with me last Wednesday, this is what the commissioner told me about the amount of information he planned to share.
My plan is to share everything with the community and yourselves at a briefing next week to let you know what we have and those flaws in the situation.
A week later, with expectations high, as well as tension, Batts is saying something much different.
If you're anticipating actions, the action will be turning the investigation over to the state's attorney, and from there they will take the ball.
So you won't you won't be releasing any information to the public on Friday?
We will be turning over all the information to the state's attorney. They then take the lead.
But what about the public? So no information will be coming from the police department regarding this investigation to the public, because you said in the past, you said last week that.
I said last week what we'll be doing is turning over information, much like I'm saying tonight, to the state's attorney, and then they take the lead from that point.
Well, both the police commissioner and mayor have both said that they certainly do not want to jeopardize this case, and by releasing too much information that could happen. I did reach out to the state's attorney's office tonight, hoping to see if they plan to release any information come Friday, but I have yet to hear back from them. That's the very latest from police headquarters this evening. Joy Lapola, Fox 45 News.
All right, thank you, Joy. And we have breaking news tonight that might shed light on what happened inside that Baltimore City transport wagon that was taking Freddie Gray during his arrest earlier this month. The Washington Post reporting that a prisoner sharing the transport van with Gray says he could hear Gray, quote, banging against the walls of the vehicle, and told officers that he believed Gray was intentionally trying to injure himself. The prisoner, who is currently in jail, was separated from Gray by a metal partition and could not see him. Now, to read the entire article, you can go to foxbaltimore.com and click on news links.
Earlier tonight, Governor Hogan met with reporters and talked about his walk through some of the neighborhoods hardest hit by the violence.
We met with residents. We walked the neighborhoods. We met with neighborhood leaders and leaders of the NAACP at their new headquarters, which had just opened yesterday. And we got a chance to talk with some people who were among the worst affected by the civil unrest. I can tell you they were very thankful for the efforts of the National Guard and the Maryland State Police. They were happy that they were there, protecting them and keeping the city safe.
The governor says the vast majority of people he's met today are being extremely helpful and cooperative.
Peace, that's the word for a group of youth on the move tonight. Our Keith Daniels live at Penn Station, where demonstrators gathered before moving to City Hall. Keith.
Well, Jennifer, that's right. The demonstrators have moved on, but earlier this space was filled, and from the beginning, organizers told us that this protest would be peaceful, and it was.
Separately, if you are here to promote your own political agenda, do not come.
Protest at Penn Station. The starting point for demonstrators from universities across the city. Youth marchers on the move for Freddie Gray, lifting their voices and signs against police brutality.
All night, all day!
A massive demonstration packed with intellect and passion. Look at Ray Weddington waving his arms. He commented,
"You're repressed, you rebel. Just like a boil, it'll pop eventually."
But here, it's peaceful.
It's inspirational. It's wonderful to see so many people out here showing what democracy is.
Then at City Hall, more passion, even tears.
They are killing us. They are murdering us. There is no "this could be you." This is you. There is no "this could be you." This is you.
Well, it was a huge demonstration. No official word of just how many people participated, but we've seen one estimate at 3,000. We're live now at Penn Station. Keith Daniels, Fox 45 News.
Keith, thank you. Despite the commotion last night, there were only a handful of arrests during the curfew. Now, there were 35 arrests of people who apparently violated that curfew. 34 were adults, 1 juvenile. The riots and citywide curfew apparently taking a toll on many local businesses. They are closing early to make sure customers don't get caught out too late. Ben Gabarek with our sister station in Columbus, Ohio, is reporting for us in Baltimore and joins us live now with more on how those businesses are doing. Ben, what did you find?
Well, many business owners say the riots and now the curfew are throwing a wrench into their budget. These National Guardsmen are out here at the Inner Harbor right now. Staff members are losing wages because they have to go home early because of this curfew. Many of these business owners are hoping things start to calm down a little bit, get back to normal for the city's sake as well as for their bottom line.
There you go. All right. Ice okay?
Even though there was an Orioles home game today, most of the tables are empty at Pickles Pub across from Camden Yards. The manager, Tom Leonard, says he's taken a big hit.
From a financial standpoint, it's been devastating.
He says he only has about a quarter of the people working today that he usually would. He says more than ever, now is a time people could use a fun night out.
We're more important in a difficult situation. We need to be open. We need to be there. We need to let everybody in, you know, safe haven, fun place, a place where you can forget about stuff.
But Pickles Pub's loss is Mount Washington Tavern's gain. The owner, Rob Frisch, says many people came to his place since the games were canceled earlier this week.
Through bad luck, you know, with what was happening downtown, we inherited that whole crowd and actually had a very good night.
But what is hurting him now is the curfew. His bartenders stopped pouring beers around 9 instead of past midnight. they have to kick people out early to make sure they get home on time.
It was a beautiful night out, so the upstairs deck was full, upstairs bar was full, and a lot of tables. So a little disheartening to have to lose that.
So that curfew will be in effect for 5 more nights, and many of the business owners I've been talking with say they're not holding their breath. That curfew will be canceled early. Reporting live from the Inner Harbor, I'm Ben Garbrick, Fox 45 News.
All right, thank you, Ben. Questions tonight about the health of Freddie Gray before his arrest. Tonight, we'll clear up some rumors. Next on Fox 45 News at 10.
Come on, so calling them thugs, just call them just call them no.
And controversy about what to call the rioters when the News at 10 continues.
And taking a live look tonight over West Baltimore, you can see some people still out on the streets as police try to enforce that 10 o'clock curfew for a second night. We'll bring you an update when we come back.
And we saw warm temperatures today. It looks like cooling off a little bit tonight over Baltimore. And we're going to see the clouds build in and some changes in the form of rain joining us. I'm going to show you how much we'll be getting when it gets here next in my forecast.
Night number 2 of a curfew in effect for the city of Baltimore. That curfew now 18 minutes underway. Let's go back live to Kathleen Cairns, who's live out on North Avenue, I believe, somewhere in that area. She just spoke with Congressman Elijah Cummings, who's trying to get people to go home so that there are no more arrests tonight. Kathleen, what's happening now?
Kai, I'm actually right on Penn and North Avenue. This has been the focus of a lot of the protests, of course, this area. And what a difference a few minutes makes. Take a look at this intersection, completely cleared out. A lot of the media has moved off. They're on the side now talking with Elijah Cummings, who, of course, was encouraging people to leave. We don't see a lot of citizens hanging around. In fact, this area is swarming with media. It is swarming with law enforcement as well. Not a lot of citizens. Let's take a look at some of the law enforcement folks that are here. They actually asked the Baltimore police officers here to move back. They are still on standby. They have all their riot gear just in case it is needed, and all of them are carrying plastic cuffs as well. Behind them, a Humvee is located. You can see that's on standby. And oh, of course, here we have some of the National Guardsmen who have been brought in as well, who are helping us out here in the city of Baltimore here. Now you can see they are stepping back, perhaps because this area has been cleared out. They're moving back, and it seems calm here tonight. I guess that's the best way to describe it. It is a much calmer scene than we saw even just 24 hours ago. Kai?
All right, thank you. Kathleen Cairns reporting live from downtown.
Well, he made waves last night when he equated the word thug to the N-word. Now Councilman Carl Stokes is doubling down. Christine Frizzell has more.
After the mayhem Monday night, a question about what those responsible should be called. In this exchange the following evening.
They know it's wrong to steal and burn down a CVS and an old person's home. I mean, come on.
Come on, so calling them thugs, just call them just call them no.
Baltimore City Councilman Carl Stokes' statement sent shockwaves to those watching. We asked him afterward if that comparison was the best one to make.
If you're going to stereotype them, then just go for the word that is most commonly used to stereotype poor black kids.
These young people have been called thugs this week time and time again, including by the president.
A handful of criminals and thugs who tore up the place.
But many Baltimore residents agree with Councilman Stokes.
How can you use the word thug and then you calling on so-called thugs to help you out?
We've been oppressed for centuries in this country, and how much do they expect us to take?
One of the biggest criticisms and questions is if this hadn't happened on the streets of Baltimore, would these protesters and rioters have still been labeled as thugs?
So when Kentucky won the NCAA championship, students rioted. At the worst, they call them drunken sports fans.
While critics accuse Councilman Stokes of inflaming the debate, he insists the double standard is glaring, pointing even at the officers who apprehended Freddie Gray.
What are we calling them? We're calling them police officers. We're calling them enforcers of the law. the murderers.
I'm Christine Frizzell, Fox 45 News.
Well, here's our question of the day. How do you feel about the use of the word thugs to describe people involved in the violence? You can join this heated discussion right now. Just go to facebook.com/Fox Baltimore.
And here's Chief Meteorologist Vetus Reed with a look at your Weather Authority forecast. Vetus.
Well, it looks like we are seeing things cool off a little bit tonight after we got a warm day today across the area. It looks like we will continue to see clouds building in, and that's the indicator of some changes coming in the form of rain. So get ready to get those umbrellas ready. 63 degrees right now in Baltimore. Winds are out of the south at 5 with those humidity levels going up a little bit. A lot of dry air out there earlier today, 43% that we see at this moment. Now, taking a look at advisories. We have nothing going on in the form of any advisories. We're seeing relatively quiet conditions, but temperature-wise, we're seeing those temperatures about 58 degrees in Westminster, 59 in Cockeysville, Baltimore 63 degrees, and down in Annapolis looking at 63 degrees. I'm thinking we're going to get a few more clouds building in after we get those temperatures cooling across the mid-Atlantic, but we're going to have a lot more warmer air building in as we go through tomorrow. Then the changes start arriving with some cool air, but then we really start heating things up by parts of next week. I'm going to show you how those things will be changing coming up in my forecast.
An alligator attack caught on camera. The injuries he sustained and why the man says it was his own fault.
And here's a live look at the Penn North area in Baltimore, West Baltimore, where a curfew is in effect and people appear to be clearing the streets, but perhaps not everyone. Fox 45 News stays live on the scene.
A Texas alligator handler gets attacked and the whole thing is caught on camera. Will Shearer was helping at a standard alligator show that's part of an educational demonstration when he says he made a wrong move by touching the gator's foot. He says he doesn't have any hard feelings toward the animal and looks at it as being completely his fault. Shearer says he knows it's just the gator's natural instinct and it could have been much worse.
Kind of surreal. I mean, you don't really think it's happening, and then I got up, and I saw the puncture marks on my arm. I knew I needed help. He didn't give me any main, veins or arteries or bones. He missed all those, and with 80 teeth coming at you, you're lucky that it didn't strike one of those. So I got pretty lucky on that part of it.
Well, Shearer will make a full recovery. He's in good spirits and jokes that he hopes his parents don't see that video.
A brutal attack apparently over a parking spot, all caught on camera at a mall on New York's Long Island. And now police are looking for the attacker. Please be warned, the video is disturbing. Mobile phone video posted on Facebook shows what appeared to be a brawl, but more like a dominant situation. A woman at the Green Acres Mall parking lot is repeatedly punched in the face, lying on the ground you see here. Look at this. The assault reportedly started over a parking spot. Many shoppers were horrified to see the attack.
That is really ridiculous, over a parking spot.
Just be careful and do what you can do and don't react like that when you're upset about something.
Well, the video apparently also shows a man, reportedly the attacker's husband, holding a small child in one hand and at the same time trying to keep another woman from stopping the attack. Police are investigating the case. There's no word on the condition of the woman beaten, and they are looking for the woman who dealt those blows.
A package thief is caught red-handed. The surprising way the suspect gets door to door and the evidence helping police in 10 minutes on Fox 45 News at 10.
And it looks like we are seeing some changes. We saw sun today, and now we're seeing the clouds building in. As you look at HD radar, we have some clouds and some showers to talk about. Rain building in from the south, rain building in from the northwest. We're getting circled here. I'm going to tell you what we're going to be experiencing tomorrow coming up.
With autopsy results still a mystery, rumors are swirling about the prior state of Freddie Gray's health. But as Jeff Abels shows us, they appear to be nothing short of rumor.
We know that
on Fox News last night, questions surfaced about the health of Freddie Gray.
In other words, there's been some internet chatter that he might have had an accident or an operation. Can you put those rumors to rest tonight?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No such information.
But online, the story spread and questions persisted. Some online accounts suggest Gray suffered a spinal injury from a car accident prior to his encounter with Baltimore police and point to Howard County court records as proof. But when we got a hold of those records, we discovered a case involving Gray's exposure to lead paint as a child. No indication of a car accident or spinal injury.
High five. Am I going to get one?
This afternoon, during the mayor's visit with West Baltimore schoolchildren, she vowed to find the truth about Freddie Gray.
Whatever the pre-existing condition, we're going to look at what happened when he was in our custody. That is my obligation. And we're going to get to the bottom of it. I don't need to speculate, that we saw what happened when people speculate about, well, did he have a criminal history, or did he have this, or I'm not in that. I'm not going to be a part of that.
Jeff Abel, Fox 45 News.
Another live look right now at the Penn North area in Baltimore, North Avenue, where the city's curfew is now 32 minutes in effect on the second night. You saw Kathleen Cairns earlier telling us that a lot of people were clearing out. Congressman Elijah Cummings has been on the scene trying to get people to go home, recognizing and respecting their right to protest, but also realizing that there is a sincere effort to restore law and order in areas of Baltimore that have been really ravaged by rioting and looting. So once again, the Penn North area in Baltimore, this is North Avenue you're looking at basically, and we will keep you posted on any developments going there. The National Guard is out right now, and largely though, the city of Baltimore and assisting police areas or police jurisdictions are keeping their presence known.
And it was back to class for Baltimore City students after school was canceled yesterday following Monday night's riots. As Fox 45's Adam Yosem reports, one school got a surprise visit from a celebrity who came to listen to the students.
Go right ahead.
As Dr. Gregory Thornton spoke to students at Frederick Douglass High School,
I'm glad to have you back in school today.
A quote from the abolitionist in the hallway caught his attention.
It basically said, no struggle, no progress. Well, we're in a struggle, and hopefully we're going to utilize this struggle as a way to make tremendous progress and tremendous gains in trying to meet their needs in this community.
Conversations in the classrooms
all the stuff, well, they really destroying our city.
About their community.
The thing that the police do to us, we don't get justice for it.
Students speaking about what they saw on TV, focused on Mondawmin Mall across from their school.
Rioting, it never even came across my mind because when I look at my peers and when I look at the adults in our city, I don't think about them being those type of people. I look at them as being fighters, but not being fighters to an extent of putting other people's lives at harm.
The images left this surprise celebrity heartbroken.
I get it. I'm here to listen first and foremost.
Which is why rapper Wale came from New York to Douglas High.
Don't make sense, yo. I know these kids tired. I'm here because I care. I don't want to see nobody get beat up by them people once the cameras go away.
Telling students they have to see themselves as better than what's been shown on the news.
It's about how you perceive yourself and how you hold yourself down. And we all brothers and sisters in this right now. We're going to get it together.
A picture together with the students who enjoyed the surprise.
He was very educated, and it was just an upping moment for the black community.
While across the street, something students couldn't have ever pictured. In Northwest Baltimore, Adam Yosem, Fox 45 News.
0. That's what the attendance line read at Camden Yards today when the Orioles beat the White Sox 8-2.
It was the only game of the 3-game series played. Morgan Adsit was there as the game went on without a crowd.
On the field, it's the same at Camden Yards. Warm-ups, grounds crew, game day. Off, no beverages and cup holders, no concessions, no trash to clean up. No heads up for foul balls. A first in MLB history. Silence. No fans in the stadium, a safety measure due to civil unrest in Baltimore.
While the fans were kept away from watching the game inside, you could not keep them away from Camden Yards.
Unless they kick us out, so we'll be out.
We're already out.
I mean,
how much further out can we be?
Nearly 100 fans on Camden Street to watch what they can through locked gates and hotel balconies.
I could go at home on the couch, but there's nothing like going to the game, here to crack at a bat. I mean, it's different.
Their voices heard.
They were heard. They were heard.
From the national anthem to the very end.
I just keep wondering what's going through the players' minds too, because they do it every day. They play in front of thousands of people, and I'm sure there's an adrenaline rush, and now it's just kind of weird.
It was definitely weird. That's something that was it's never happened, first time in history, and it was cool to be a part of history.
Not an ideal game day, but the Orioles realize it's about more than just baseball in Baltimore.
Everything. We support the city of Baltimore, and we're out there playing for the fans. We don't just we're playing for our families, but We play for the fans. We play for the city of Baltimore. That's what's across our chest. So we represent them. We're trying to represent them in the best way.
At Camden Yards, Morgan Atzit for Fox 45 News.
We saw on Facebook today that nearly 800,000 people checked into a game that no one attended.
One of them was Baltimore's most famous Orioles, and some had comments about today's fanless game.
Reporters caught up with Cal Ripken to get his thoughts.
They interview me. I want to go for a bike ride. See you guys
What
later.
about no crowd? You ever played a game with no crowd?
Never. It ought to be interesting. See you guys.
Wow, the Ripper riding the bike around town.
Go. Yeah. Stay with Fox 45 News for the very latest on the crisis in Baltimore.
Baltimore homicide detectives are investigating a deadly shooting at Curtis Bay. It happened around 3:30 this afternoon on Pennington Avenue and Hazel Street. Police say they found a man shot multiple times and was transported to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Anyone with information regarding this crime is asked to contact police. The death toll in Nepal is climbing as crews try to find and recover victims of last weekend's massive earthquake. That death toll is now listed at more than 5,000. At least 4 of those dead are Americans. Nepal's prime minister says the number of dead could reach double the amount. Workers are being brought in with heavy equipment to dig through the rubble. A man has been rescued from the rubble of a collapsed building after spending nearly 80 hours trapped. Helicopters are transporting the injured from remote areas.
Kathmandu has a very poor infrastructure, so the buildings are in a very poor quality. That's what makes people suffer the most. Most of the houses are damaged, and also the health infrastructure is too bad. So when we rescue people, when we get them to the hospital, it's all very low quality health service.
Well, many are trying to leave the damaged area. However, parts of Kathmandu are showing signs of recovery. Banks and businesses started to reopen, and people are now leaving makeshift shelters.
Were police truly ready to shoot down that demonstrator flying a gyrocopter to the U.S. Capitol this month? And how could he have flown so far undetected? As Scott Thuman shows us, the answers to those questions caused real problems today on Capitol Hill.
And we will yank you up here time and time again until we get answers in the public.
Called on the mat and facing tough questions, the top leaders protecting Washington had to explain how a man piloting a gyrocopter could get so close to the Capitol.
You've got a dude in a gyrocopter 100 feet in the air crossing 30 plus miles of restricted airspace. Whose job is it to detect him?
That's my responsibility, and I'm accountable for that.
Why didn't it happen?
Because we're working against physics, sir.
It turns out when the postal worker, hoping to make a statement about campaign finance reform, flew from Gettysburg down the National Mall, defense systems didn't pick up the potential threat. Because on radar, he showed up only intermittently and looks no different on computer screens than a kite or flock of birds.
I've come here to beg you to do whatever you have to do to get the technology.
I'm absolutely stunned as a member of Congress. This is our warning system. I still have not received a warning on the incident.
True, the alarm didn't go out as it should. Only the Senate was told of a threat, not the House. Why?
There was a mix-up in the command center.
And while initially authorities said they were prepared to shoot him down, today, backpedaling.
Did you or did you not have guns trained on this gyrocopter to take him out of the air?
As he landed, I would say as he landed.
As Doug Hughes awaits trial, many of those questions had to be answered behind closed doors today because, as Congressman Cummings put it, no need to reveal any vulnerabilities. You can be certain, he said, that terrorists are watching. I'm Scott Thuman.
Well, weather-wise, we had a really beautiful day in Baltimore.
We did. Felt like the Bahamas.
Yeah, you said that earlier.
Yeah.
You must have Bahamas on the mind.
I do. I'm leaving tomorrow.
Well, there you go. Yes, you must be on the same flight. I'm on my way too. Well, no, we're talking about nice conditions out there. It was a beautiful day temperature-wise. It looks like we saw plenty of sunshine, and it looks like we'll slowly start cooling down across parts of the area tonight. Clouds are going to build in, and then it looks like rain's on the way. We have a couple of systems, one to the south, one to the northwest over the Great Lakes. That is going to be bringing the temperature change. So the one from the south is bringing more of the rain, and the one from the northwest bringing a little bit cooler air. So here's how it's going to play out. Right now, looking at our beautiful city downtown lit up, and it looks like we are seeing very comfortable temperatures right now at 63 degrees. Winds are out of the south at 5. Humidity level is sitting at 43%. Looks like those temperatures will continue to go down a little bit tonight, down into those mid-upper 50s. Not a whole lot, but it looks like mildly cool. So over in Elkton, we're looking at about 58 degrees, 61 in Bel Air, 57 in Westminster. Down in Columbia, 62 degrees. Our friends in Laurel, and down towards Annapolis, a little bit different temperature there. 54 in Laurel, 60 near the water in Annapolis. Chestertown coming in at 59 degrees. Looks like the bigger picture showing mild temperatures across the coast, but a little cooler air back to the northwest. Buffalo, New York at 44, 54 in Cleveland. Cincinnati sitting at 60 degrees. Some of the cooler air will continue to move in, but it won't get here tomorrow. I think we're going to still see a mildly warm day, but it'll be full of clouds. As you see, one system building up the clouds from the south. A little bit of rain coming up with this as well. And here's the frontal boundary with this low that's going to drop down out of the Great Lakes. So we have one system that's going to continue to build up from the south, another system that's kind of wrapping in like this. So we're going to have two systems working together over the next couple of days here to give us some rain. So on the future scan, you can see timing it out. For tonight, clouds continue to build in, 7:30 a.m. We may not have the rain yet in the morning hours, but through the afternoon, the showers start popping up, so have those umbrellas ready. Through the afternoon and evening, rain showers scattered across the area. Can't rule out a little rumble of thunder here and there, but then more showers as the frontal boundary moves in. That will start dropping our temperatures down as we go through the day. Through the evening, there could be more rain 10 p.m. on Friday evening, so looking at some unsettled weather for the next couple of days. 57 tonight, clouds increase. For tomorrow, it looks like we're going to see rain on and off through the day. Temperatures right around 71, cooling later in the evening as the front approaches. I'll have your 7-day forecast and show you when we may be tapping into summer-like temperatures coming up.
A package thief caught red-handed. The surprising way the suspect gets door-to-door and the evidence helping police.
And a so-called Baltimore Batman trying to protect his own during the riots, the drastic measures he went through for his business, and the damages it sustained. When the chaos broke out Monday night, rioters left a trail of destruction in West Baltimore.
Lara Greenberg from our sister station in Harrisburg introduces us to one man who took some drastic measures to protect where he works.
That's old liquor.
His name isn't Bruce Wayne.
I'm just a plain guy.
But Brian Woodyard's initials are the same, and so is his hunger to protect.
So I asked him to please let me stay in, because then I could set up a defense.
Brian's the bouncer here at the old clubhouse. He was working Monday night, but left before the groups of people rioting made it to this part of the city. The owner of the bar, helpless, as the front window was broken.
I'm trying to make a phone call to the police for that. I did about 30 times, right? They never show up yet.
Surveillance video shows what looters took when they got inside: tobacco and liquor.
The metal grate we had here.
So Brian returned to work, dressed like this, armed with a machete to keep other looters away.
I was just trying to get the bar cleared and pray God didn't set it on fire and destroyed everything in it.
So why the mask?
It was the only thing I could grab at the time and get down here and try to save my job.
This job is important to him. Brian admits he's an ex-felon.
But these people actually stood up and gave me a chance.
He says keeping the bar safe is his way of thanking them. The getup now has people calling him the Baltimore Batman. But Brian says he's not Batman. He's one of many Batmen in Baltimore.
A lot of us did not wear masks. But a lot of us did defend our homes, defend our storefronts, defend our bars, and we did our best.
The bar lost an estimated couple $1,000s Monday night from the damage and all of the stolen items. And Brian wasn't keeping count, but he says a reporter who was watching all this estimates that he stopped about 50 people from coming into this bar on Monday. In Baltimore, Lara Greenberg, Fox 45.
And stay with Fox 45 News for the latest on the crisis in Baltimore. A Washington woman stealing packages off people's front porches has expensive taste, but not because of the items she's taking.
Eric Golf just had a replacement part for his lawnmower ordered to his home. Well, his surveillance camera caught a woman driving a Jaguar, walking up and stealing that package. Well, he's now hoping evidence will come in handy.
And I've tried to make this like overt as possible, with warning signs and stickers and things that say you're on camera. Yeah, the Jaguar is really what struck me as I was like, whoa, that's kind of odd.
Well, it turns out that same Jaguar thief was spotted at another home on the same day. Investigators say she stole a box of craft supplies from a house about a mile away. The Kitsap County Sheriff did pull a license plate from the video, but it came back to a car that's been sold.
All right, time to check back with Chief Meteorologist Vitas Reed for a look at that 7-day Weather Authority forecast.
Yeah, Kai and Jennifer, it looks like we're going to see clouds building in tonight. Showers for tomorrow, so have the umbrellas ready. They'll probably pick up in the mid-morning, afternoon, and through the evening. 71 degrees. The rain will continue Thursday night into Friday. Some spotty showers, maybe even a little rumble of thunder as the front's pushing through. But temperatures drop from the 70s down into the mid-upper 50s for Friday. So a little cooler start to the weekend, 59 degrees. We warm back up about 10 degrees on Saturday, 69 degrees, and then 75 on Sunday. So the weekend looks a little brighter and better, and we see more sunshine from Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Take a look at those summer-like temperatures. 80 degrees on Monday, 83 on Tuesday, 79 on Wednesday of next week. Back to you guys.
For the first time ever, a Major League game is played without spectators. Bruce Cunningham shows you what that looked like next in Sports Unlimited.
And an iPad grounds several American Airlines flights. The software glitch that affects the plane's navigation and how many flights were delayed.
Suppose they had a ball game and nobody came. You know, when all this is over, and it surely will be, we will look and marvel at all we've been through. And today's game at Camden Yards will almost certainly be on that list. For the first time in baseball history, a game was played before 0 fans. The Orioles and MLB could not justify shifting dozens of police from where they're needed, so they played before 48,000 empty seats. And those empty seats saw a very good pitching performance. Ubaldo Jimenez went 7 innings, scattered 3 hits to earn the victory. That, one of his 6 strikeouts. And the Birds got all they needed in the first inning. Already 1-0 when Chris Davis takes Jeff Smarja out onto Utah Street. 3-run shot, his 5th of the year. The Birds put 6 runs on the board the first inning alone. Then in the 5th, they got another. Manny Machado with his 4th home run of the year, and the Birds win it going away 8-2. And afterward, their thoughts were with those who could not attend, the people of Baltimore.
We play for the fans. We play for the city of Baltimore. That's what's across our chest. So we represent them. We're trying to represent them in the best way.
You know, we have made quite a statement as a city, some good, some bad. But now let's get on with taking the statements we've made and creating it a positive.
So there's your final. Birds win 8-2 in a crisp 2 hours and 3 minutes. Ubaldo very sharp, 7 innings, just 3 hits, 6 strikeouts. He's now 2-1. The big blows, as you saw, Davis's 3-run homer, his 5th of the year. Machado with the solo shot, number 4. A day off tomorrow, and then on to St. Pete for 3, quote, home games. Coming up at 11:30 on Sports Unlimited, one Oriole decided to have some fun with the lack of fans. We'll show that to you at 11:30.
Thank you, Bruce. A software glitch grounds several American Airlines planes in the United States last night, and the problem appears to be on apps on their iPads. Seems there was an error with the digital map used by pilots in the cockpit. An airline spokesperson said more than a couple dozen flights were affected. Now, it's still unclear which iPad app was faulty or whether the fault lies with American Airlines or Apple. In 2013, American Airlines became the first airline to have its pilots rely entirely on iPads for flight plans and navigation.
A heartwarming donation to a church next on Fox 45 News at 10.
And coming up in just 5 minutes on the late edition, the second night of the curfew in Baltimore still in effect, how the city is responding. A North Carolina church wants an anonymous donor to know how special their donation was, but not because of how much they left behind.
A wooden plate for donations has been passed around the pews at First United Methodist Church for more than 80 years. This past week, someone left a note and a donation of 18 cents. No one knows who wrote the note or where they were sitting, but they say it is still a blessing. Here's what the note read.
The note says, "Please don't be mad. I don't have much. I'm homeless. God bless." We weren't mad. We were very touched by this. But for this person, proportionally, it could have been everything in his or her pocket.
The church says the money didn't come from a pocket, but from a heart. They say the nickel, dime, and 3 pennies left count for more than just coins.